So my name is Jama, Vogt, and I teach freshman English at Atherton.
I have a model for you. I'm reading Johnny Cash, Forever Words. I think I talked to you guys about this book. It's Johnny Cash's poems and songs that were released. He has since passed, but these are some of his poems and songs that had not been released. I think his son released this novel, or this book. So there's a poem in there, and it says, "There's trouble on the mountain, and the valley's full of smoke." And if you read on to the poem, you can kind of infer that we're not talking about literal smoke, like the mountain's not on fire, okay? So the smoke is being used as like a metaphor for all the troubles that the people in that community are going through, okay? Because he writes a lot of poems about people in maybe like the South, or people who were going through certain, in poverty or whatever the situation may be. And so I said it's maybe a metaphor for the struggles. And when I think of smoke, I even think about like when your lungs fill up with smoke and you can't get rid of that, or like how smoke can kind of blind you for a second. So when you're going through things, how you feel a little blinded. So I want you to pay attention. Are there symbols, personification, metaphors, similes, imagery, allusions, irony? There's lots and lots of devices that you guys have learned and talked about. So we're going to do some table talk after independent reading to hear about some of those devices that you see in your novel. Does anybody have any questions before we move on? Then we'll talk about the learning targets and where we're headed. Thank you.
So, I kind of think it's like,
Which device have you found? Where?
Same basically what it says in the last thing. That's definitely a metaphor.
Okay. All right, I want you.
The Color of Water, a black man's tribute to his white mother. And the book is where I am now, I just started it. The book is basically about his mother. She's picking up habits and hobbies to where she wants to play piano, and she rides this bicycle every day. And so, in the book where I am, Times Square, the character James, one of the main characters, the narrator actually, he's in Times Square with all his friends, and he hears cars rolling past, skates, people talking and cheering. And it's just a happy place right now. It's a young and youth place in Times Square, where on 42nd Street in Times Square, where all the kids just hang out, just like just a chill place for the kids. So I guess it's their chill place after school or whatever it may be. It's just that their happy place. It seems like a happy place. So the symbolism is Times Square.
Okay, so Times Square is like a symbol for a place they can go and feel happy. Crust and sugar over. Imagery. Okay, can you discuss that? How does that connect back to that message?
Well, do you want me to explain like how it's imagery, or like?
You can do both. Explain how it's imagery, and then explain how it connects to that message that Michael was talking about.
Okay, well, it's imagery because he described it a little more than just saying it's a syrup sweet. He described it a little more like saying crust and sugar, so it makes you think about it more. And then how it connects to it is if you I'm just going to use an example, like if you leave a pie or something and it starts to harden because it's been out like overnight or something, it's if you pull or wait on a dream for too long, it will harden and maybe go bad.
when it starts to harden, you just said it's going bad, right? So it's not as fresh, it's not, it's not as, I guess the
Good.
motivation isn't there, it's not as good as it was in the beginning. Emily, I haven't heard from you and Haley, so why did you all pick that one? Why did you think that was best?
Well, I mainly kind of liked the heavy load. She liked the imagery, but I thought the heavy load was a good way to represent the overall message, because if you don't put the dream in effect, it's just gonna kind of hang there. It's not gonna be used, and it's just gonna sit there doing nothing while you're doing some other things.
Okay, I think that's a good interpretation. I think Langston Hughes actually did a great job of making sure that his devices met his purpose. Like, it's kind of hard to narrow it down to the best, isn't it? Because he did such a great job. Okay, let's go to the last one. Crust and sugar over. Kai, you said it so well. I wouldn't have even really thought of that one so much. You did such a nice job. Did any groups vote for that one as best? Okay, so maybe 3 groups. All right, so Miss Haley, why did you like that one?
Because I can picture, like she said, a pie, you can't use it, you can't eat it, it's bad. It's kind of like a dream, you can't fulfill your dream if it's just not there.
Okay, so Kai, Haley used you in her example. You helped her to get to that, so you did a really good job. Okay, thank you, Haley, for that explanation. And I know I haven't heard from some of your voices. I'll get to you. So here's what we're going to do. What we just did is what I'm getting ready to expect you all to do. I'm going to move you around the room to some poems, excerpts from poems, excerpts from songs. I don't have the titles on them yet because I will give it to you. I don't want you to focus on who it is or what it is. I want you to read through the words. You're going to do the same thing. You guys are going to maybe annotate some of the devices that you see. You guys are going to think about what's the message and how those devices connect. I want to hear you really having a conversation about that, because I might call on anybody to share. So you don't want to just say, oh, Tony, you just take this whole thing, because I'm just going to sit back because Miss Vogt might call me, okay? There in the back on the wall. Tariana, 4. Right here, and Emily, 5. And I'm going to start pointing to you, and you need to go where I tell you to, okay? All right, Connor, go ahead and move over here with Tony. Michael, move with Carter. Andrew, go back here with Inaya. Okay, Daya, Tariana, Sam. There's some questions that I want you guys to answer for the last point. Spend a second while she's writing her blanket.
So it could represent happiness and love.
Right, Kidney? He could have just said it like that. But by not including that simile, how would that affect that message if he just said it's useless? Why would that change the whole, it wouldn't really change it, but why is it more effective to compare it to rotten meat than to just say it's useless? Sam?
Because if you like what was said earlier, if you cook meat, you can turn it into something really good, but if you just leave it, it'll turn into something useless.
Yeah, so not including that simile, we wouldn't really see the power of what happens to those drinks, right? So I'm going to give you these, and you've got just, it's probably about a minute per question. You don't have to reread the poem. You already read the poem. But you are going to answer these 4 questions with your, you're not necessarily going to work with your partner because you all might have had different ones. Too much going on at once. I'm not a good multitask. So flip to your poem. Andrew, what poem were you looking at, or what song, or?
That the land gives you options and freedom.
Okay. And what device best captured that the land gives you options and freedom?
The word land, because it shows opportunity.
Okay. So it was a symbol?
Yeah.
Okay, so the word land is a symbol for opportunity. Do you all agree that land is a symbol for opportunity? Okay, so I want you to think about our IB context, orientation, time, and space. The setting, the culture, our environment, our society, do all of those things shape our American dreams? Do they? Yeah. What about in the poems that you guys read? Did history, society, environment, culture, do those things shape our American dreams? Yeah, they do.
I think it depends.
Okay.
Because, well, I was kind of going with yes, but when you mentioned the poems, it says, and this one over here, the last one that I read, it says, I roamed and rambled and I followed my footsteps. So I think it's like, you're made to be different. So like you could follow someone else's footsteps, but if you follow your
Sure.
own footsteps.
You don't have to follow what the people around you are doing, right? So when we're thinking of orientation, time, and space, we're talking about that environment.
So it's like evolution.
Yeah. So you guys did a great job with that today. I want you to make sure that those reflections are on your learning target sheet. Put this in your binder. We're going to come this away, but I thought you guys did a great job with that today. Okay, I'm really proud of you.
My name is Jama Johnson, and I'm a freshman, and this is my poem about the American dream. It's called Pain, and here we go. We gonna get knocked down, but we gotta believe. Like Jesus on the cross, he put his life for the team. Dreaming for a life where we won't see kids on the tee. People killing each other over what another believe. Pulling on the trigger ain't helping the dream. Blood coming down my face like rain. God, why is it me? Jamari felt that breeze. He went the other way. Money don't grow on trees, so he had to stack up and save. Wearing a red hoodie, hoping for better days. Dreaming for a life where glory will come one day. Like the sea, gotta change my ways. Fighting demons, praying everything is okay.
One of the things that I think I do to create classroom culture, the first thing I do is at the beginning of the year, I'm very strict about like the routines I have in class because I want the kids to know what to expect every single day. A lot of the students that I'm dealing with a value structure. So they know when they walk in every single day, the beginning of class starts the same way. We always start with independent reading and bell work. They always have something that they're supposed to be focusing on during that independent reading. It usually connects to a skill that I've taught in class. And so by having that structure, kids start to feel successful because the day is not a surprise. So when I'm going around and I'm speaking with the kids in class, I feel like I can focus on the content with them. I can celebrate successes with them because we're not spending time just trying to figure out what it is that we're doing. And then we have a lot of choice in the classroom. So like we do a lot of independent reading where kids get to choose what they read. A lot of times within activities, I'll even kind of give the kids some choice with how they might do certain activities. They sometimes might get to choose between different texts that they might read. So I think giving them that choice helps them to also feel successful because they have a voice in what we're doing. So I usually prepare the lesson by thinking about what is the end result that I want from the kids. So for example, in this unit, I've sat down with my PLC. There's 2 other English teachers in my PLC. And in this unit, I have, we decided that we wanted the kids to write a poem about the American dream. But we wanted to connect that to our standards. So we had been teaching the kids literary devices, poetic devices, and we wanted them to take that a step further to think about what is the purpose for why a writer would use those devices. So in planning for the lesson, I think about what is my end goal. So my end goal is I want kids to successfully write a poem. We've looked at excerpts from texts, speeches together, and throughout that, we've made sure that we constantly go back to what is the message, what devices are meeting that message. So it's kind of like that backwards planning. I think about like some of the struggles that the kids are going to have along the way. One of the things that the other freshman teachers and I try to do is whatever we ask the kids to do, we do as well. So we're all writing an American Dream poem as well. And in doing that, we're seeing where some of the challenges can be. So when we're planning our lessons, we're making sure that we're tackling those challenges. And as far as like, that kind of helps us anticipate concerns or issues that might come up. One of the things that we noticed is that it's really easy to connect to our experiences, and our kids make a lot of connections, but trying to make sure that all of those connections capture the message or the American dream has been difficult. We even look at our own writing and think, did we do this? Did we do this correctly? So being able to kind of backwards plan and look at that and think about what issues the kids are going to have help us to plan for that. And so it's just kind of nice. As a teacher, there's some benefits to this, because as a teacher I feel like having the structure so that the kids know what to expect, knowing what my end goal is, helps me to sort of capture what it is that I intended to capture in my lesson. I feel like if I don't know what direction I'm going in, my lessons are all over the place, and I'll teach things and then I realize I've spent too much time on this and not enough time on this. But if I know where I'm going, I know where I'm headed, I think about how it all connects. What are my learning targets? How does that connect? How does it connect to the bigger purpose and what I'm trying to accomplish? It benefits me because we don't waste any time. We get a lot done, and I can spend more time focusing on what's important.